When this was brought up in the meeting, my jaw dropped. Because I was going to ask, like, who you got? You know, what do the Bills need a bounce-back game? And, Nick, you said something that blew my mind. Go ahead.
It's a must-win.
Come on.
It's a must-win. So here's the thing, America. I didn't like Kevin Wildes' fraudulent must-win segment where it'd be like, an undefeated team, is it must-win? Like, no. I like actual, real meat and potatoes must-win. And what you disagreed with me vehemently on this a month ago, but I think maybe you've come around a bit, which is right after the Cowboys, as a huge favorite, lost to the Cardinals, and then they were a huge favorite facing the Patriots. I said, if you're a true Super Bowl contender, you cannot lose back-to-back games as a massive favorite. And the Cowboys, for whatever they are, they put it on the Patriots.
Oh, big time.
The Bills, I'm not saying their season's over as far as they can't find a way into the playoffs. I'm not saying that. But if you are considering the Bills what they consider themselves, which is a frontline Super Bowl contender, you cannot play a month of bad football, which this would be, from the jet lag game, as Brew calls it, to escaping against the Giants, to losing to the Patriots, to losing a short week home game against the Tampa Bay Bucs as a near 10-point favorite. And you certainly can't lose back-to-back games as more than a touchdown favorite and then be like, but don't worry, we're going to make the first Super Bowl the team for the franchise in 30 years. So, yeah, it's a must-win.
Okay, I can't play along anymore.
Must-win?
What?
No. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone,
What?
Coach, when we talk about must-wins. All right, you described a very important game.
No.
That's what this is. A very important game. This is, you just said
Drew,
this is not a must-win.
I'm gonna checkmate you. Are they an
If
S-Bob team?
They are an S-Bob team.
Can they win the Super Bowl if they lose tonight's game?
Sure.
No, you guys
and
are
all
out of your
you got.
mind.
Hold on. Here's
No,
the thing.
they can't.
Hold on. I think Coach might agree with me on this.
Of course, he always
One thing
disagrees
we
with
have
me.
learned about Buffalo is you can't judge them. Obviously, they have to win enough to get into the playoffs, but you can't judge them on the regular season.
Why not?
Last year, start the year. I've said it before. I'll say it again. 6-1.
Yeah.
Beat Kansas City. What'd they do? They went into Arrowhead and did the whole thing. Ate sandwiches, watched movies in your living room in Arrowhead. Then they finish off 7-0.
Yeah.
Looking good.
So what happened?
Get into the play. No, but my point is they were strong early. They were strong late. Which is what you want to be. You want to go into the playoffs.
No, you want to be consistent.
No, but hold on. If you go into the playoffs on a 7-game win streak,
but they
you
were dead
think you're
before
rolling,
that.
and they looked horrible in the playoffs, even in the game they won. So my point is, they could be mediocre in the regular season, win 11 games, get into the tournament, and then who knows? I wouldn't pick them. I wouldn't pick them. But you can't tell me if they lose this game,
Yes, I can.
they aren't a dangerous playoff team.
No.
They're not going to be anybody's pick, or at least not on this show.
That's the point.
But
if they're not anybody's pick after they lost back-to-back.
our pick, because they're not our pick, they wouldn't be dangerous.
No.
They wouldn't, Coach.
I think you're dropping knowledge as usual. Look,
There. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach.
and can I just say that my family loves Kevin Wildes segments this week. I'm out with my niece last night, a casual sports fan, an emerging first things first fan, and she says, "You know what segment I really love? Must win." I'm like, I can't wait to tell Kevin. But
That wasn't even me.
But this is true. This is not a must-win situation. We've got to see a much better performance. They've only had 10 points in the last 3 games. This has to be a low positive energy game, which it's going to be because it's a Thursday night game. There's not a lot of thinking and game planning. There's thinking, but there's not a ton of game planning that goes into this. So we should see a better version of Josh Allen going into this game.
And what if we don't?
Well, if we don't, then there's
something really wrong.
There's some problems that they're going to have to work out. But look, every team goes through these ebbs and flows throughout the season where you have injuries, where you play poorly. And then it's the teams that can figure out how to adjust to those problems. And if you get hot late, that's when you're most dangerous. If you stumble during the middle, a lot of teams stumble during the middle.
The Chiefs were 3-4 at one point. Remember that a few years ago? Well,
the
I'm just
Chiefs
saying, maybe
had
the playoffs
the
with the Chiefs.
institutional knowledge and the institutional memories of winning a championship. That is first of all. Second of all,
Well, the Bills have a banner.
The idea that we should be like, no, Nick, this is why it's not a must-win, because here's how the Bills have done it in years past. They've spit the bit at the end of the year. every year.
Well, in the playoffs.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is all they care about. And this idea that they're one of the
You know
things
what's going to be a must-win? That
What?
playoff game.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That'll be a
That's
must
a
win.
must
Yes,
win.
I understand.
That's what made
See,
you
Wildes,
so
you see why
frustrated
this
with
segment doesn't
Wildes.
work.
This is
Now you get it. Now it's a real. Now you guys don't get it, and he gets it. It's
It's
not
a very
must-
important
You
game.
don't get
I know that
mathematically
doesn't sound
eliminated.
as fresh as must
we
win,
know it's
but
not,
that's what it is.
We know
A
it's
big.
not
mathematically
mathematical.
alive.
Here's Wildes made a really good point a month ago when it was about
Only a month ago. 1 month ago, you had one good point.
No,
That's
that
it.
is not what I was saying. Which was when we were talking about the teams' records, like this many 0-3 teams, make the playoffs, whatever it is. And the point is, it's not so much about 0-3 being such a big hole. It's that if you lose your first 3 games of the year, you probably stink.
Yeah, you're not good.
And the point that I am trying to make is, if the Buffalo Bills, after 3 straight uninspiring games, 2 losses, and losing as a huge favorite to a divisional rival who they have owned as of late, if they can't then beat a mediocre Bucs team at home on a short week, they are not a contender.
Yes.
They're just not good enough.
It's
not that they're eliminated. It's
Well,
that they
they're
are
not-
a typical 4-4
But
team.
even at this, if
That's
they
exactly
win,
right.
a lot of people don't have them on that
That's
top
fine,
tier.
but they're still alive for it. If they
Yeah,
lose
they'll be
tonight,
alive if
what's
they
the
lose.
difference between them and the Bucs? They're
Josh
in
Allen
one.
and Baker Mayfield.
But that's what he's saying. That everyone views the Bills as a great team that is underachieving. All he's saying is like, no,
If
they
they
are
lose-
what their record
if
is.
they
They're a
lose,
team
they're
that
a
loses to the
mediocre
Jets
team
and
with
the
a great
Patriots.
They
quarterback.
have one of the top quarterbacks in
That's
the
it.
league.
But if
and
they
top
lose, that's
receivers.
all.
says that.
If
I
they
know
lose,
everybody
that's all.
says that.
Everybody's got a great receiver but the Chiefs. So they have Kelsey. If they lose, that's all
Kelsey's
they've got.
pretty
great.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. They got a great
Their
receiver.
defense is hurt. Their coach you think is uninspiring. If they fall to 4-4, they're just a 4-4 team.
That's just the
all
facts.
they are.
You're supposed to be the facts
You know
guy.
what the facts is? Must win means if you lose, you're done.
That's not what must be.
That is what
I told you we can't
literally
lose the
what
second.
must win
I
means.
told Wild just
not what
move
it
on. I
means.
told you we
It's
can't
not
do the
what it
segment.
means.
I told you.
Oh my gosh. Brew, here's the question. Is Baker being positioned to succeed, or even better, is Baker being set up to fail? Team can't run.
No.
Team can't run.
Set up to
Coach, you can win without running the ball?
You're the facts guy. All right, hold on. Cincinnati runs for fewer yards per game than Tampa Bay.
Playing horribly.
And are they? Well, no. People think they're a contender. All right. Pittsburgh runs for a few more yards a game than Tampa Bay. All right. And Pittsburgh. Are anybody singing? Saying Kenny Pickett. Feeling sorry for
Yes,
him.
they want to fire the offensive coordinator. They chant it at hockey games there.
But they still are
They
pressuring
do.
Pickett. They're pressuring Pickett to play well. According to Pro Football Focus, San Francisco, because I always hear about how San Francisco, they got so much help for Brock Purdy. San Francisco's offensive line ranked 24th.
What's that
Guess
got to
what
do with
Tampa Bay's is ranked? 10th.
What's that got to
Then
do
run
with
the ball.
anything?
No, my point, you said, are they set up to succeed as if he has no help?
No, it's
I'm
like
saying
they
he's
can't
got
run
a
the
top
ball.
10 offensive line. I'm saying Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. 1 Pro Bowl between them.
Oh, my God.
Mike
What are we
Evans
talking
and
about?
Chris Godwin, 5
What
Pro
are we
Bowls
talking
between them.
about?
They can't
so what
run the
I'm
ball.
saying is he's got help. Other teams that can't run the ball still can be
Okay.
successful. And his defense isn't bad either.
Okay, so I guess it was
Can we
Tom
score
Brady's
more than
fault
19
last
points?
year.
Yeah,
Tom
can-
Brady
can-
was 45 years old.
Can we please talk about how bad an idea this is? Leaning into just passing the ball with
Thank
Baker
you.
Mayfield. This is
Oh,
a
I
terrible
agree
idea.
with that.
And look, you may not be able to do it effectively, but you need to do it enough to help the offensive line to eat up some time of possession so that your defense isn't getting worn out all the time, to make sure that there's some 8-man boxes so they're not all playing split safety. Let me just show you what they did last year with the greatest quarterback of all time. He had his only losing record in the history of his long career when they leaned into passing the ball all the time. So now let's fast forward to Baker Mayfield. How's this going to work out for him? Okay, well, when he throws 35 or fewer, he's got a winning record. When he throws 36 plus, he's 4-21.
What about the-
So let's throw the ball more. Let's
But-
lean into this with a quarterback that's so much lesser than Tom Brady.
here's
It's on
and see whether it
Baker.
works.
Here's
that's on Baker.
how's the fact they can't run the balls on Baker?
No,
Listen,
but I'm saying other teams. Tom Brady, for as great as he is, was 45 years old last year.
Drew, here's the thing,
throw
though.
it.
It's not so much, and we can show it to you. It's not so much that they won't run the ball. It's that they can't run the ball. They're just above or below league average in attempts per game. Last year they were last. Look at that bottom thing. It's the second fewest yards per rush by a team that actually tries to run this century. And guys,
Like
by the way,
when they
right.
I get
and
it.
last year they were. Hold
So
on.
are you saying if he had a great run game, he'd be doing something? Baker?
Well, he would be doing a lot better than he was.
Of course.
Who was his running back last year at the beginning of the season in Carolina?
I beg of you to
just
try
asking,
to not
who
win
was
arguments
it?
from a year ago
Who
when we're
was
talking
it?
about whether or
What
not the
was his
Bucs can
name?
run the ball.
What was
Christian
his name?
McCaffrey and Baker is terrible.
Christian McCaffrey?
But that's not. But that is totally
The reason Brock
that
Purdy
is
can
totally
play?
separate to the question of whether or not Tampa Bay, who this
they got
year
a bad run
has
game.
from their running backs 121 carries for 341 yards. Their best runner has been Baker. Their longest run has been from Baker. They have 0 runs of 15-plus yards by running backs. Last year, all year they had 3. Whether or not that is a sustainable model.
They have a
Maybe
bad
they should
run
try to
game.
go get Derrick
What
Henry.
I'm saying is a top quarterback can overcome.
Nobody thinks he's top
Houston
quarterback,
averages
Brew.
3.2 yards.
Brady
a game.
couldn't overcome
And what's
it.
CJ? He was
Brady-
45 years old.
Bro, you picked him to go to the Super Bowl, didn't you?
Last year? No.
Oh, year before. 44-year-old.
I picked them the year they won. I picked them the
Not
year they
playing
won.
fun, though, Tom.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.